Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something straight. No sugarcoating, no beating around the bush. Excuses, they're the enemy. They are the invisible chains that hold you back. And right now, you've got a choice. You can either keep making excuses, or you can get busy making results. We've all been there, when life throws a curveball, when things don't go as planned. It's easy to fall into the trap of blaming the world, your circumstances, or someone else. It's easy to make excuses. But I'm telling you right now, if you want to achieve anything, if you want to be successful, excuses will never get you there. Excuses sound good. They justify your failures. They make you feel better about not trying. But here's the cold truth. Excuses don't produce results. You hear me? They don't pay the bills. They don't put food on the table. They don't get you where you need to be. And therefore, that's why we lose interest in those ideas. What does get you there? Results, actions, hard work, consistency, the grind. You want something? Go get it. Stop sitting around waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect situation, or for someone to give you permission. Don't wait for the stars to align. You've got to take action now. No more excuses, just results. Life's not easy. No one promised you it would be. But you know what? That's the beauty of it, because the struggle, the fight, that's where the growth happens. That's where the results come from. You think you can take the easy way out and expect to win? That's not how it works. The world doesn't care about your excuses. The world rewards effort. It rewards action. It rewards people who get out there and make things happen, no matter what. Now, let me make one thing clear. I'm not saying it's going to be smooth. It's not going to be easy. But what I am saying is that if you make the decision today to stop making excuses and start making results, nothing will stop you. Nothing can hold you back. So stop looking for reasons not to do it. Stop looking for excuses to quit. The only thing you should be looking for is the next opportunity to push forward, to work harder, to be better. Because your success, it's in your hands. Don't let excuses rob you of it. Get out there, take responsibility for your actions, your results, your future. And don't stop until you've made it happen. Because when you stop making excuses, you start making results. Excuses don't lead to success. That simple statement carries a powerful truth that we often overlook in our daily lives. The world is full of people who talk about what they want to achieve, but when it comes time to act, they find themselves paralyzed by excuses. They tell themselves why things won't work, why the timing isn't right, or why they just don't have the resources they need. And for a moment, that may provide comfort, but in the long run, excuses only hold us back from realizing our true potential and achieving success. Excuses sound harmless at first. They are words that we use to explain why something didn't happen or why we couldn't accomplish what we set out to do. But the problem with excuses is that they become a crutch. Instead of pushing ourselves to overcome obstacles, we look for reasons why the obstacles exist in the first place. Instead of finding solutions, we get caught in a cycle of blame and self-pity. We tell ourselves that the circumstances are unfair or that the deck is stacked against us. But the truth is, success doesn't care about your excuses. Life doesn't stop because you feel like giving up or because things aren't going as planned. Think about the people who have achieved greatness in their fields, whether it's an athlete, an entrepreneur, an artist, or anyone who has risen to the top. You can bet that they didn't get there by making excuses. They didn't get there by sitting around waiting for the perfect moment. They got there by pushing through the obstacles, facing adversity head-on, and refusing to let excuses dictate their journey. Sacrifice success is not about waiting for things to be perfect, because perfection never comes. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and finding ways to get things done, even when the odds are stacked against you. The beauty of success is that it's often born out of struggle. Think about the challenges you face in life. Each one presents an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become better. Every time you overcome an obstacle, you gain something that brings you closer to your goals. But if you allow yourself to make excuses, you rob yourself of that growth. You avoid the hard work, the discomfort, and the failure that are necessary ingredients for success. Growth happens when you push yourself outside your comfort zone and confront the difficulties head-on. Making excuses prevents you from doing that. Excuses also lead to procrastination. We often put things off because we're waiting for the right time, the right resources, or the right circumstances. But waiting for the perfect moment is just another form of avoidance. We want things to be easy, but success is rarely easy. Success requires action, and action requires discipline. It requires doing things even when you don't feel like it, even when the odds are against you, and even when you're tired. Procrastination might feel like a relief in the moment, but it only delays progress and amplifies the challenges that lie ahead. By making excuses to put things off, we only create more problems for ourselves. One of the most insidious aspects of excuses is that they allow us to avoid accountability. When we make excuses, we don't take full responsibility for our actions. Instead, we blame external factors for our lack of success. We tell ourselves that we didn't get the promotion because our boss doesn't like us, or we didn't finish the project because we didn't have the right tools or support. But the truth is, successful people don't point fingers at others. They take ownership of their failures and their successes alike. They understand that no one is responsible for their life except themselves. The moment you start blaming others or external circumstances, you lose control of your own destiny. You surrender your power to change, to grow, and to improve. Let's talk about fear for a moment. Fear is one of the most common reasons people make excuses. We're afraid of failing, afraid of rejection, afraid of looking foolish. So instead of taking action, we convince ourselves that now is not the right time. We tell ourselves that we need more experience, more knowledge, or more resources before we can take the leap. But in reality, fear is just a mental block. It's the voice in your head telling you that you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, or that you're not worthy of greatness. And the more you listen to that voice, the stronger it becomes. Fear feeds on doubt, and excuses are the perfect breeding ground for doubt. The longer you allow fear to control your actions, the further you get from your goals. Success isn't about being fearless, it's about being courageous. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the willingness to act despite it. When you stop making excuses and face your fears head on, you open yourself up to the possibility of success. Fear can be a powerful motivator if you let it. It can drive you to work harder, to learn more, and to do better. But only if you choose to use it as fuel instead of allowing it to paralyze you. The problem with excuses is that they keep you in a state of stagnation. You get comfortable where you are, and that comfort becomes your cage. You tell yourself that it's too risky, too hard, or too complicated. But in the process, you give up your chance to grow and evolve. Growth happens when you embrace challenges and face the unknown. The greatest opportunities often come wrapped in difficult situations. When you stop making excuses and start taking action, you put yourself in a position to experience those opportunities. Responsibility, in its most basic form, involves acknowledging one's obligations, whether they are towards oneself, others, or the larger community. It is easy to point fingers at external circumstances or other people when things go wrong. However, true responsibility is about accepting that you have a role to play in every situation. This doesn't mean blaming yourself for things outside of your control, but recognizing that how you respond to challenges is within your power. For instance, if you're in a difficult situation at work, taking responsibility means that you look at the factors contributing to the situation that you can influence. This could involve improving communication with colleagues, increasing your skills, or adjusting your approach. Taking responsibility often involves confronting uncomfortable truths about yourself and your environment, which can be a difficult process, but ultimately leads to empowerment. Taking action, however, is where the real change occurs. Acknowledging responsibility without taking action is a hollow exercise. You can accept that you are responsible for your career or personal development, but if you don't take concrete steps to improve, nothing will change. Action bridges the gap between potential and reality. It transforms ideas and plans into tangible outcomes. The act of taking action is what distinguishes those who merely dream from those who achieve. It is not enough to simply wish for things to get better. You must act, even if that action is small at first. One of the major barriers to taking action is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of making mistakes can paralyze even the most well-intentioned individuals. However, the process of learning and growth is inherently tied to failure and mistakes. Success doesn't come without its share of challenges. In fact, many of the world's most successful people attribute their success to learning from their failures and continuing to push forward. Taking responsibility for your actions also means taking ownership of your mistakes, learning from them, and using those lessons to refine your approach. People who take responsibility do not avoid their mistakes, but rather confront them, analyze them, and learn how to avoid repeating them in the future. On a deeper level, taking responsibility and action also speaks to a broader societal obligation. In today's interconnected world, the actions of individuals can have far-reaching effects. When people neglect their responsibility or fail to act, it can lead to larger societal problems. Environmental degradation, social injustice, economic inequality, and political unrest are all examples of how collective inaction can snowball into systemic issues. In many cases, change starts with the actions of individuals who refuse to accept the status quo. For example, consider the global movement for climate action. The challenge of environmental sustainability is so vast and overwhelming that it can seem impossible to make a difference. However, individuals and groups of people who take responsibility for their impact on the environment are now leading efforts to reduce carbon emissions, advocate for renewable energy, and push for policy change. These actions, often initiated by individuals, can shift the direction of entire industries and governments. While no single person can reverse climate change, a collective effort driven by individual responsibility and action can spark the necessary change to combat it. Taking responsibility is also about cultivating an awareness of the choices we make every day. In the workplace, this means recognizing that your performance is tied to both your abilities and the effort you put in. You are responsible not just for completing tasks, but for contributing to the broader goals and values of the organization. In personal relationships, taking responsibility for your actions means being accountable to others, showing up when you say you will, and communicating openly. It's easy to be complacent and allow others to take the lead, but real growth comes when we decide to engage fully with the responsibilities in front of us. Moreover, responsibility and action aren't confined to large-scale issues. The day-to-day decisions we make can have a significant impact. In your personal life, being responsible means managing your finances, health, and time effectively. It means being accountable for how you treat others, how you deal with conflict, and how you manage your emotions. Often people don't realize that personal responsibility is the foundation for every other kind of responsibility. If you are unable to take ownership of your own life, it is unlikely you will be able to handle the complexities of work, relationships, or broader societal concerns. Therefore, building habits of self-responsibility sets the stage for taking responsibility in all areas of life. One of the most empowering aspects of taking responsibility and action is that it fosters a sense of control and ownership over your life. When you take responsibility for your actions, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance. Instead, you begin to realize that you have the power to influence the outcome of situations. This sense of empowerment is incredibly motivating because it shifts your mindset from a place of helplessness to one of capability. In addition to personal empowerment, taking responsibility and taking action also helps to foster a deeper sense of connection to the world around you. Social justice movements, healthcare reforms, and educational improvements often begin with the simple acts of responsibility and action taken by individuals who are committed to change. Furthermore, in order to take meaningful action, it is necessary to cultivate resilience. Life is filled with obstacles, and there will always be setbacks, disappointments, and challenges. Those who succeed in taking responsibility and action are often those who have developed the ability to keep moving forward despite adversity. Resilience allows you to keep going when things don't go as planned, to adapt when necessary, and to maintain a positive outlook even when faced with failure. Without resilience, it's easy to become discouraged and give up when things get tough. However, resilience is a skill that can be cultivated through experience and through the practice of remaining committed to your goals, even in the face of adversity. Taking action, especially in the face of adversity, is what turns thoughts into tangible results. It's easy to be swept away by doubts and uncertainties, but action is the antidote to inaction. Even small, incremental actions can build momentum towards significant change. Consider someone who sets out to improve their physical fitness. It might feel daunting at first, but when they consistently show up at the gym, track their progress, and make conscious decisions to eat healthier, they gradually build a healthier lifestyle. Each action compounds, and before long, the results are noticeable. This same principle applies to all areas of life. whether it's developing a skill, improving relationships, or advancing in your career. Taking responsibility for your role in the process and then taking action can lead to exponential growth over time. Taking responsibility and taking action are not only keys to personal growth, but also to the broader growth of society. They require courage, persistence, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. It's through this process that we not only shape our own futures, but also contribute to a greater, collective effort to make the world a better place. The most significant transformations begin with the actions of individuals who are willing to accept responsibility, take ownership, and persist in the face of challenges. Through this journey, we create a ripple effect that can ultimately lead to profound change. Taking responsibility and taking action are two essential principles that can transform an individual's life, the life of those around them, and the world at large. At their core, these concepts demand a shift from a passive existence to an active engagement with the world. They require individuals to not only acknowledge their roles in various situations, but also to actively engage in resolving issues, overcoming challenges, and achieving goals. This notion extends far beyond just personal growth or success. It permeates into all aspects of life: relationships, professional life, societal contributions, and even the global stage.